Hey guys, Barry here from TGS with another Microsoft Flight Simulator video. We are flying from Marrakech to Casablanca in Morocco. We are going to be using a Cj4. It's about a 25-minute flight, 121 nautical miles. It's currently daytime and live time, so I decided to roll back to time for this one. So we're doing 3:30 p.m. mid-afternoon. We should probably be there by the time it's 5 p.m. in the game or sooner, and should be a nice little flight. So we're going out of Gmmx into Gmmc for simplicity. Those are pretty close. But we're going to fly, taking off out of Marrakesh here, heading to the east. Then we're going to fly north. Doesn't seem like there's much in between. Just a lot of land to take in. And then we'll land. I decided to go into the furthest airport I can find in Casablanca instead of landing at the major airport, which is south down here. That doesn't give you the visual of the city. I wanted to actually land in the city. I'm not sure if this runway is meant for an aircraft of this size, but we're going to make it work. I've always wanted to go to Marrakech, so want to see what happens. It's kind of inspired by the Hitman video game. There is a level in that video game where you go to Marrakech. Plus, I mean, if you want to really cross the line per se on your travels, that's definitely a place to explore beyond the boundary. It's not like living where I live in the U.S. and then traveling to like Rome. There's a difference, but it's not that drastic. You go to Marrakech, it's going to be a major change of culture and shift. Something definitely worth hopping into some point in your life. We got pretty good visibility, 9.36 nautical miles. We have 9 knots of wind. I think we'll be alright. I've flown the Cj4 quite a few times, but right off the bat, I want to warn you guys, I'm not a professional at flying this. I'm much more used to the DA40NG, the 152. But I'm also finally starting to use autopilot, which I never used in our earlier days of playing this. I did everything manually, so we're going to try doing it this way. Feel the wind on takeoff. It's trying to rip us to the side here. Landing gear up, get the flaps leveled out. Hello, Marrakech.
Marrakesh Tower, Cessna Tango Golf Sierra, continue for east departure.
We're already cleared the turn. We're going to lower our engine power to about 55%.
Marrakesh approach, Cessna Tango Golf Sierra is type Cessna C25C, 3 miles east of Marrakesh.
There is Marrakesh.
Request flight following. Cessna Tango Golf Sierra, Marrakesh approach.
There's a lot more skyscrapers and larger buildings than I would have ever expected from how it's portrayed in movies and video games.
Radar contact 4 miles east of Marrakesh, 3,800 feet. Altimeter 30 decimal.
They only want me at 3,000, so.
Roger, Cessna Tango Golf Sierra.
We're right on the red line. We're gonna hold out about 50. We drop to 45. Well, we're heading right into some weather. Maybe, maybe not. Looks like it might be raining a little bit. I'm not going to go up too high. I'm going to take in the landscape as we go. So we're more than plenty up in the sky. I'm going to begin taking the engine power down to see if we can get a steady flight here. It's 100 nautical miles, but an aircraft like this, it shouldn't be too bad. If we were flying a DA40NG, it would take an hour, but in this aircraft about 25 minutes. It's not too bad at all. Problem is, to buy one of these will cost a small fortune. I plan to go for my pilot's license in the next few years in real life, and I'm pretty sure that's going to run at least 10 grand. But considering how much you spend on college loans, college and all that stuff, I'm not going to worry about 10 grand for a flight pilot's license. Then you got to dump out, at least like 50 grand or maybe more for a 152 with probably no autopilot or no special features in it. It'll do the job. Gonna lower the power 5% down. We're around 35% power right now. This is one aircraft that I used to constantly overspeed and constantly have sketchy landings because I wasn't used to the high speed of it coming out of a 152. But once you get a little bit more comfortable with it, it's a great aircraft. Definitely not a beginner plane by any means. I actually flew this plane first when I played this game, and we actually crash landed on the beach trying to do a beach landing. And let's just say I'm not doing that again. You can see far in the background there's a mountain line, mountain range. We are heading for the north coast. In Gibraltar, you can see across the strait, or we can see the coast of Africa, which is pretty crazy, which is the mountain ranges of northern Morocco, also called the Rif, from a spectacular view. You also get to see Moroccan part of the Atlas Mountains, apparently if you're in Gibraltar, in Spain. Which is pretty awesome. Never been to Spain, never been to Morocco, but two places that are definitely on my list to visit once I get back out there. Hopefully within the next year I'll start venturing the world again. Just been chilling for a while. So it seems like 35% power keeps us literally almost perfect trim naturally. Really not much out here for a good 80 plus nautical miles is my guess. We're leaving the storm behind, so that's good. Try putting the power up to keep the nose up a little better. Hover at 40%. If you're just chilling manually and you're not messing with your trim, it kind of just does like a wave pattern where you'll go up and down. You'll gain speed going down, then it'll lift, then you'll lose speed going up. Just a roller coaster back and forth. Try leveling off myself manually and see what happens. Seems like it's holding pretty good. Thanks anyone watching live. Should be a fun little flight. 25 minutes is really not that bad for a flight, especially flying a Cj4. Try repping 37%. I'm trying to find, it seems like at 35 we start to drop a little bit. At 40 we start to climb a little bit. So I'm trying to find that middle ground, that equilibrium. get us into a steady state on our, height here. If I look at a map from Marrakesh to Casablanca, there's pretty much absolutely nothing between. We're already about 25% there. Probably puts us somewhere near. Let's see, is there an airport around here? It's right there. But we're passing it. I don't see any other ones anywhere out here. So if you have an issue with your aircraft, better utilize all that ground down there. About 30% on our trip here. We've been in the air for maybe just under 10 minutes or close to it. We are making some good time. Taking in the views. Gonna drop 5%. We'll increase 5% on the power here. We're starting to go down a little bit. Every time I go to 35% power, it cruises smoothly for a while, and then we start to descend. At 40, it slowly tapers down our loss, but then we increase. And then we go to 37, and we're still going up. It's like trying to find that equilibrium on the power and altitude here without having to fight the aircraft on it. Yeah, we're almost halfway to Casablanca here. And we're rolling in style. Looks like a bunch of farming land / region around here. The sand dunes that people visit are, if I'm not mistaken, to the east of Marrakesh. I might be horribly wrong. That's where I saw on Google Maps once before. I mean, there's so much Sahara and desert in Morocco. There's a bunch of places you can go, actually. That'd be awesome as heck to go see the sand dunes. Sand, vast region of planet. I can only imagine sandstorms suck. we're about halfway there. Not too sure how the autopilot works in this aircraft. I've been able to work on a few others. See the wind's like tapering us sideways on the gauge there. You definitely feel a little bit of wind, not a lot. Going pretty quickly. I mean, we have to be well, almost 60% done the trip in about 15 minutes. 15, so the last stretch is going to be about another 10 minutes and we'll be there. Here we go, some mountains on the left here. Really not much to talk about on this flight. Scenery, you know, I'm not gonna lie, is not over the top, but it wasn't expected to be. Flying out over the sand dunes, though, definitely got to be a future flight idea. Maybe even try to land in them or on them. Should be able to if you get a good approach, slow down enough, and find a mound where you won't go flying over it when you're slowing down.
Going to 121 decimal tree, Royal Air Maroc 438.
We're doing good, pretty good on altitude with 37% power. So I'm just not going to touch anything. We're going to cruise right into Casablanca. It's a little bit cloudy ahead, but I don't suspect any issues. Down to 30 nautical miles to go. But we're losing some of our visuals here. I'm going to take us down a little bit. Because I want to get below the clouds, to be honest.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear.
All right, calm down with the landing gear warning.
Landing gear.
Simply putting on the flap to prevent us from going in the red zone on our speed.
Landing gear.
Alright, I think we're good right about here. Wants me at 3,300, but we had to drop down like, yeah, in the 2,000 range to get under the clouds. We might be able to go up a little higher, but I don't want to go up too high. See, we're about to touch the clouds right here.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
This plane just naturally starts freaking out about landing gear if you use the flaps at all. I put on 40% power, let it get back to a better state. We're 22 nautical miles out. The clouds are not too bad. But I'm trying to stay below them. So we're going to violate their 3,300 request. I also notice when you fly low, it also definitely also affects your ability to land a little bit. But it can be managed. Yeah, we're just climbing a little bit right now, but that's fine. Yeah, see, right around 2,700, we're starting to hit the clouds. I guess I won't worry about it too much. There's not much to see below it. I was trying to stick below it, but I think we're still too far out to really see what we want to see up here. "17 nautical miles out." Yeah, we're getting back in the clouds right now, but I'm gaining altitude back up to 3,300. I believe we're approaching Casablanca. That's going to be Casablanca up there, like far out there. I feel like you can see something showing up. Yeah. Clouds kind of make it hard to see, but I feel like the density of the buildings is just going to start increasing a lot up here. You can see we're starting to see farms and so forth. So we're in the rural area. Eventually, we'll go down around to the quote-unquote suburban area. Yeah, we're good right here. Drop to 37. Try and stick around where we're at now. Casablanca is 11.72 nautical miles north, at least for our time approach, and then we're going to land at a small airport. I have no idea if this aircraft should be landing at this airport. You know, usually there's requirements at any given airport for how big an aircraft can be. I have no idea if this airport can handle us. I did not do any reasonable research like you would in a real life situation, but being a video game, I figured, worst case scenario, we're going to max the flaps, turn the engine down the min, and come in as slow as we can without stalling, which means, slowing down a lot on that final approach. I've pulled off a lot of insane landings, from landing in Circo Massimo, aka Circus Maximus in Rome, to landing on top of Mount Vesuvius, to landing inside of volcanoes. Yeah, I've done the whole 9 yards. We can definitely stop pretty quickly if we need to, so we'll do our best. We're definitely going into some cloud cover, so I'm almost going to drop here. I want to actually see Casablanca. We ain't going to see crap if we're in the clouds, so we'll see if it clears up. Still in the rural region. There's like a weird line down there, if you see that. Like right down the map. Where the nose of the plane is. The hell? It probably shouldn't look like that, but probably just how it rendered.
Climb and maintain 3,600 feet. Expect ILS Yankee runway 35 left approach via Kotak transition clear to Kotak Royal Air Maroc 9050.
We're 4 nautical miles out. So we're going to be heading into a landing moment. Next time we're watching live, I'll take any, we'll do any responses once we're done this flight. Casablanca is straight ahead. There's the coast. So we're getting relatively close. We're a little bit, we're barely below. We're at 3370-ish, and it's at 3387. So we're pretty good on this. We still have 12 nautical miles to go, but we're going into the clouds, so I'm going to go ahead and begin.
Landing.
I'm going to
Landing gear.
put on the first flap, landing gear down. Let's get below the clouds. For obvious reasons, I need some visibility. So we're landing basically right in the Casablanca. This is not a major airport. This is supposed to be a very small airport. And I don't know if we're qualified to land here, but we're going in. Gotta level out a little bit here. Just give a better view of third person. We're still not even in the actual city. We're still in the rural region, I would call it. A lot of farmland below. Starting to fill up though. Starting to get to that border of suburbs to country out here. So you got neighbors, someone's got a pool over there. Let's prepare for landing. We're gonna slow down drastically once we get closer. I hope this airport is I'll listen for any circling requests on the airport. That's probably the major highway that goes between Marrakesh and Casablanca. Looks like there's some tolls right there or something. Yeah, it looks exactly like a toll. Gotta pay some tolls to get in the city. There it is, up ahead, Casablanca. I'm having trouble seeing the runway right now. Let's see if we get some, we need to get visuals on it. Right there, making a landing attempt. I have no visuals on the runway at all. Where's the runway? I'm having trouble seeing visuals. We're gonna usually like to do first person landings, but I have no visuals as of right now on the actual runway. That's it right there? That's not it. Is this the runway? I'm so confused.
Stall.
We're circling because there's no visual runway. We're turning around.
Casablanca Tower, Cessna Tango Golf Sierra, 1 miles north, 300 feet to land.
We're turning around.
Sierra, Casablanca Tower. Altimeter tree, 0.06 wind 041 at 12. Fly left traffic, runway 2.
Stall.
Fly left traffic, runway 2, Cessna Tango Golf
To
Sierra.
prevent stall, I had to floor it. Alright, so they're giving me a line now. So they want me to get over here.
500.
I've been having to go on and off with the engine because we were gonna fucking crash. That was one of the sketchiest looking airport pull-ups I've ever seen ever before. So I'm just trying to get over here and get in the appropriate line.
Cessna Tango Golf Sierra, wind 041 at 12. Clear to land, runway 2.
So they wanted me to go all the way out there, even though they just changed it once I missed it.
Cessna Tango Golf Sierra.
That was horrible guidance. Like, land here, but it's like impossible to tell where I was landing. There was like somewhat of what looked like a runway, but at the same time it looked like we were landing in a field, so I just backed out of the approach. I wasn't sure where we're going. Alright, begin flaps. Now that we're on the appropriate approach, that was horrible. That was one of my scariest landings to date, minus the nighttime ones, because I don't know what the hell that was about. Currently this we're going too fast, but we got flaps engaged and we're running like 30% power. So I'm just going to let it naturally slow down to the appropriate speed. Remember they had a video game at arcades like this back in the day where it would be like an airliner flight and you'd fly to and from a destination. And it was like a challenge. And it would have these things saying like too fast or this and that while you were approaching. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, we'll know if we're landing at the right spot this time or not, because it's going to put us right into it. I just increased my flaps to get to appropriate speed. Took the flaps off once we got the speed to make sure we didn't lose too much. Are we landing in that grass field? Is that where we're going? Falling way too fast. We're falling way too fast. It's like, trust me, I'd rather not crash into the buildings, but this gotta be it. This has to be it. I mean, I don't know where else they're trying to make me land.
Cessna Tango Golf Sierra, turn next taxiway.
Did they mess up the airport or something? Is this supposed to be an actual airport here? Because I think it is. I think this is supposed to be an airport. What the hell? How the what? This doesn't even look like a fucking airport. Did they really not leave? Did they like not put this airport in the game? You can see the runway. You can see the outline of the runway, and you can like see it below us almost. But the game like didn't include it.
Tango Golf, Sierra exit runway when able.
I'll exit the runway, but I had to circle here and almost died because of it because it looked like I was landing in a damn field. The hell's this crap, man? Alrighties. That was so unexpected in so many levels.
Cessna Tango Golf, Sierra contact route on 118.1.
I don't know, there's supposed to be a road or something here that we're following. All I know is that I'm getting off the runway, I think. There's no way this is an official airfield. Maybe I'm wrong and it is, but that was one of the weirdest landing locations I think I've ever experienced.
Cessna Tango Golf, Sierra acknowledge last transmission.
We're not going to acknowledge shit. We're parked on the side. Either way, that's it for our flight from Marrakesh to Casablanca. That was quite the flight. Definitely appreciate if you like and sub.